it's Holiday Branch and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hope you guys are being safe out there. I hope you guys are washing your hands. I hope you guys are wearing your fashionable face mask. For those who are new here, hey, what's up? My name is Holiday Branch and I like to post videos here every single week about what? About shit that doesn't really matter. It's just shit that like has happened to me and it's entertaining. And if you like those type of videos, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so y'all can get y'all free entertainment every single week. And here is another story time. And before I go on to the story, I want to say felicidades to the class of 2020. I know it's so fucking weird and I feel terrible, especially for those who graduated from college with your bachelor's, master's, and your doctor's degree. I'm so sorry that this is happening. I know that you guys worked really, really hard, and this, graduation ceremony is a very symbolic gesture. I know it meant a lot for me because, a bitch worked hard for that BA. I want to say congratulations, and I hope you guys are prepared for facing the real world because bitch is crazy out there. Oh my god. So today's story is pretty crazy. It's pretty wild. I completely forgot that this shit happened. It didn't happen to me directly. It actually happened to a coworker that I used to work with at LAX. And it's so wild that I actually had to call an ex-coworker to confirm the details of the situation because, a bitch don't want to get anything wrong. I don't want to, put false information out there, honey. But yeah, everything that he said was completely true, and I was just like, bitch, I need to tell the story because this story is crazy, oh my goodness. So for those who don't know, I actually used to work as a busser / server at LAX, Los Angeles International Airport, at the beautiful, luxurious American Airlines Admirals Club. So basically, American Airlines has this really VIP exclusive club. This club likes to have businessmen and celebrities as their clients. So I was working there when I was 19 years old, and because I started working there, I actually had the opportunity to meet so many different people. I had the opportunity to meet celebrities. I got the opportunity to be businessman. I actually had a lot of clients fall in love with me. You guys, there was this one client that every time when I would go there, he would always call me beautiful, smart. He was just all over me, all over me. And then I actually had another client actually send me flowers. He sent flowers, and I remember he put my name. He only knew my name. And he was just I want this flowers to be sent to Holiday from the Admirals Club. You guys, it was, oh my god, it was so much fun. If you guys want me to tell you guys more stories from LAX, bitch, I will be happy to do so. I actually have ghost stories from that place. You guys, that place was freaking haunted, okay? Oh my goodness. So, if you guys want me to tell you more stories from LAX, make sure to tell me in the comments below because, I would be happy to do so. Girl, you don't even gotta tell me. I just need validation. But this is one of the stories that I'm gonna say because this shit is wild. So, as I said it before, I used to work for American Airlines, and that lounge wanted to be bougie, and because they wanted to be bougie, they wanted to attract certain clientele such as celebrities, businessmen. So they weren't really strict with us. They just wanted us to have really good service. As long as you have your uniform pressed clean and you got your makeup and hair done, it's fine, it's okay. They just wanted us to pick up the dishes, wash them, make sure that the food is stocked, and if someone wanted to know where the bathroom is, we will point it at it. That's how laid back it wasn't a really hard job, to be honest. It wasn't the Ritz-Carlton or anything. But there's certain clientele and you gotta look a certain way and act a certain way. And because that lounge was really, really small, our crew was really, really small as well. And because I started working as on-call, I actually ended up working for the morning and night crew. So I ended up, knowing everybody. There was no more than 100 people working at my place of work. So for that, to be LAX, it's pretty small. Because our crew was really, really small, we were really close with each other. Actually, I'm still like Facebook friends and Instagram friends with a lot of people that I used to work with. So it's actually kind of funny how like they saw me grow and I saw them grow, because I'm like, damn bitch, like you got a baby, like damn bitch, you got married, that's crazy. Yeah, like our crew was super small. And you'll already know, and I'm pretty sure you can relate, when your work crew is really small and tight, when you have new employees coming to, invade your personal space, it can get, pretty tense. And so this is what happened with our situation. We end up getting a new bartender, and this new bartender was a little off. Bitch, when I tell you this guy was a little bit off, it's just like, girl, like that's just like, to minimize his shit, because this guy was just, he just looked crazy. Like, okay, so look, I'm not trying to be mean or anything like that, because like I'm the last person to be criticizing people's appearances, but this guy just looked and acted weird. And so let me describe this guy. Let's call this guy Jim. And that's his name, Jim. Jim was a newly hired bartender. He was like this tall, white, skinny dude, aged about like 40, late 40s, maybe early 50s. I highly doubt it, but the man definitely was aged. The man had salt and pepper hair, and his hair was like super curly. It looked like a Jewish fro, super curly. And this guy, like, even though he was like, I met so many guys, I've dated a lot of men who are a lot more like, or about like the same age as him, but like he just looked so sloppy. Like, girl, I'm telling you, like his hair looked so greasy, his face just looked so like run down, like he just looked tired. And then his fucking uniform, like, you guys, like, our uniform was super ugly, but like even I tried my best to look beautiful in it. Like, I would wash my fucking white shirt like in bleach, because I wanted that shit to be white as hell. I would spend like 10 minutes like press ironing my slacks, because like I wanted to look cute. Even though my uniform wasn't cute, I wanted to look cute, and I was. But this guy, like, I remember when he came in for his first day of work, our manager was so upset. He was just like, dude, like, I don't know where you come from, but like you look so greasy, you smell funky. And like his work uniform, this was on his first day of work, it was so fucking gross. Like, people were saying, Holiday, you should have seen that shit. Like, his fucking shirt was dirty, it had spots, like he had wrinkles everywhere. Like, the guy hasn't even started his fucking day shift, and like the man looked like a mess. And when our manager was all like, why do you look like that? And he was just like, well, what are you talking about? Like, this is the way I look, like this is how my work uniform is. And so of course, because it's his first day of work, like my manager had like no choice but to like let him work. But he like, put his point across, like, hey, you know what, like, you can't be looking like that. I need your shirt to be clean, pressed, and like your hair needs to be done, because you're out there serving drinks to all these bougie people. You can't be looking like that. You'll be looking crazy. And not only did this guy like look crazy, this guy acted crazy. Like, he was just off, girl. So my interactions with him was creepy. I remember during this time, I was wearing a lot of like cute little flowers or like pins on my hair. And the reason why I was doing that was because, I had a shaved head. And every time when I would be, working, picking up my dishes and stuff, people would be like saying, excuse me, sir, I need some towels, I need a drink. And then I will turn around and be like, oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were a dude. I started wearing like all these accessories, and I will never forget, this guy will like come up to me and be like, Holiday, you have the most beautiful flowers on your hair. Like, bitch, what the fuck? And like, let me tell you, I'm 5 feet. I'm like, I'm small. And like, to have like this tall older, creepy white man, like, speaking to me, like, you know, he's looking down at me, telling me that I look cute. Like, girl, it's crazy. It's creepy. And then a lot of bartenders were like fucking hating on this guy because not only was this guy creepy, but this guy was so freaking lazy, sloppy, and most importantly, he was just annoying. He was useless because if he wasn't making drinks, he was talking to fucking clients, fucking, you know, having like therapy sessions like in the bar for like 10-20 minutes. And it's not to say that it's not important to build rapport with your client, because like it is, but like, bitch, you work at LAX, okay? Like, it's LAX, okay, at American Airlines. It's like noon. Like, this is the time and where like people are rushing in and out. Like, people need their drinks and they need to get on their flights, and this motherfucker would just be there talking to clients for like 10-20 minutes. Meanwhile, my other coworkers have like 5 fucking drink orders and like 2 fucking salads and like a sushi order to do in the next 10 minutes, you know? Like, it was crazy. And nobody liked him. They were like, this guy is so annoying. This guy is so lazy. He fucking smells. He leaves the bar a fucking mess. Everything is all unorganized. Like, this guy sucks. Meanwhile, he's just creeping out so many other girls. They're like, dude, this guy is creepy. This guy is weird. He smells funky. And I'm just like, girl, like, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, how do you hire him? Now, here's the thing about LAX people, okay? Because LAX is like basically open nearly 24 hours, it's very common for a lot of employees to have like second jobs. Like, my dad was working 2 jobs while he was working at LAX. He was working at American Airlines during the morning shift. Then during nighttime, he would work at the Tom Bradley, you know, terminal. It's very common. A lot of my coworkers were doing it, and he was actually one of them that was taking a second job. Now, it turns out to be that this guy was actually a bartender for one of the restaurants downstairs. I don't know if you know this, but like Terminal 4, the American Airlines terminal, it has 2 levels. So like, American Airlines is on the top of the terminal, and then the restaurants, you know, where like all the, you know, the gates are at, that's like the first floor. So that's where all the restaurants are at, and then there's like a secret gateway to like the top of the terminal, and then on top of the terminal is where, you know, the lounge is at. So this guy actually worked at a restaurant down in the terminal by the gates, and so he was working there in the morning, and then he was working as a bartender in the afternoon at the American Airlines lounge. As I said before, it's completely normal. That's what happens. Then, out of nowhere, this man just disappears, okay? I don't see him. I don't smell him. What happened to him? Well, bitch, all rumors started coming out. What happened to Jimmy? What happened to Jim? Where's he at? Oh, girl, you didn't hear? Bitch, no, I don't know anything. Tell me the tea. What's going on? Well, girl, Jim got arrested. Bitch, say what? So Jim went to Tijuana and he met up with some guys. He put 3 men in the trunk of his Dodge Charger. And if you know anything about Tijuana, crossing the border back is a really long waiting time. And this was taking during July, where it is excruciating hot. I don't know how immigration found them, but I don't know if it was through the weights. I don't know if it was through the x-rays, but they asked him to open his trunk. 2 men were already dead, and the 3rd guy was still awake, fighting for his life. He like actually like got out of the truck, and like he couldn't even breathe. The man ended up passing away on his way to an American hospital. Yeah, he did that. And when I found that out, I was just like, dude, that is crazy. Like, why would he do that? Like, that's like, who in the right mind would do that type of stuff? Like that, like what? Like dude, like what? Like, who the fuck, like, who does that type of stuff? Like, that's just like, that's cruel. It's evil. It's like, dude, like, why would he do that? Like, you know, like, was he that broke? Like, what, was he crazy? Like, what? And I ended up finding out that from another coworker who actually was working with him on the first job. She was just like, you know what, it's funny that you tell me that he's creepy and that, like, he tells you that you're cute and you're beautiful and stuff, because you look exactly like the girl that he's in love with. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, girl, like, don't get me involved in this. Like, I have nothing to do with this. And she's like, no. She's like, no. Like, she's like, look, in the job that I worked with, where I worked with him, you know, the first job, you know, in the restaurant downstairs, there's this girl that he was in love with. I don't really know if she's like a hostess or anything, but apparently this guy was like in love with this girl. And this girl, you know, she was just taking advantage of this guy. From what I know, from what, you know, this girl told me, she was telling me that, like, this girl was already manipulating, you know, Jim into giving her gifts and getting her stuff, because, like, she knew that Jim liked him and, you know, he wanted to get with that. And so she was just like, you know what, you want to get with this, you know, you gotta buy me this and this and this and this and that. And so she ended up asking for a Louis Vuitton bag, and he went to go get her a Louis Vuitton bag, but then the girl ended up finding out that, you know, it's fake. And, like, you know, like, bitch, like, how are you gonna go ask for a Louis Vuitton bag from a bartender that works at LAX? Like, bitch, that's not how it works, okay? It doesn't work that way. And so, because this guy was so desperate to, like, get this Louis Vuitton bag for this fucking hoe that he wasn't even fucking, like, he wasn't even kissing, he ended up, you know, meeting some guys at downtown LA, went to, you know, provide his services just so he can get the funds to buy this Louis Vuitton bag. Mind you, this shit cost $3,500, okay? Like, he was just looking for $3,500. That's what I was told. And so, because he needed to get that Louis Vuitton bag, he was gonna do that type of stuff, you know, so, you know, he can get that shit done. So not only did this dude actually have the balls to, like, get himself involved in that type of shit, the fucking dude was, like, boasting to, like, his coworkers, saying, oh, this is what I'm going to do because I'm gonna get this girl her Louis Vuitton bag. And people were, like, saying, like, what the fuck, like, why are you saying this type of shit at work? Like, first of all, like, that's something that is, you shouldn't be saying at work. Like, that shit's fucking illegal. And second of all, like, are you crazy, dude? Like, what are you looking for validation? Like, bro, so, like, dude, like, not only was this guy stupid enough to, like, get himself involved in this shit, but, like, this motherfucker was crazy enough to be, like, boasting in his place of work that he was gonna do this shit just so he can get the girl. My coworker right there, she was telling me, girl, like, not only is, like, everybody's, like, flabbergasted at the situation that's happening, but, like, everybody's pissed off at this girl because this girl was just, like, manipulating him. I mean, apparently, like, this guy was, like, buying her so much stuff, he didn't have anything else to give, and this bitch still wanted more. And, like, what the fuck? Like, first of all, this bitch is crazy. How would you ask your coworker to buy you a $3,500, like, a $3,500 bag? Like, bitch, if you can afford it, do you think he's going to? Like, bitch, piensa, way, no mames. Like, yeah, so, like, that was the craziest thing that's ever happened. Like, there was tons of articles about it. I'm gonna post an article here down below about the story, you know, what happened. But, like, yeah, like, that guy, you know, he ended up going to jail, obviously. And, you know, I don't know how long he's gonna be there, but definitely he was charged with, like, murder charges. And, yeah, like, that was just crazy. And, like, you know, it's crazy because, like, when you hear stories like that, like, crazy stories like that, you're just like, who does that shit? Like, who thinks like that, you know? But then, like, after meeting this dude and just, like, the way that he carried himself, like, this guy was just, like, not aware of, like, himself and, like, his surroundings, and, like, couldn't understand, like, other people's perspective. It's just, like, of course something like that would happen, because, like, if he couldn't even, like, be self-aware of like the things that he was doing, that like, you know, he was making people uncomfortable, that, you know, he wasn't aware that like he was like a lazy coworker, that like he couldn't understand like why nobody liked him. Like that was one of the things too. Like I remember like at work he was just like, why does nobody want to talk to me and shit like that? And I'm just like, bitch, nobody likes you because you're crazy, you're weird, like you're lazy, you're not friendly, you're like very like, I don't know, like it's just like, dude, like you make me feel weird about myself, like it's crazy, like don't talk to me. Rest in peace to those people that lost their lives on, you know, because they don't deserve it. That's terrible. So yeah, that's my story for today. I'm so sorry that we're leaving in a very sad note, but yeah, like that was the wildest thing that I have ever heard. And it's just crazy because like, you know, when you read these crazy articles or you see like these crazy stories on the news, you're just like, who the hell thinks like that? But then like actually met someone, you know, and like meeting them and like knowing how like they think and they live their life, it's just like, it's not very far off. Like of course he would do something like that. Like just like the saying goes, sometimes, you know, common sense is not so common, and it's really sad, and especially when people lose their lives. And you know, rest in peace to those 3 people. Like it sucks. Like all they wanted to do was just like, you know, as you know, as bad as it is, like they just wanted to like have a better life, and they were willing to do anything to cross that border, and unfortunately they never did. So well, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you guys like to hear more stories about crazy LAX, make sure to tell me in the comments, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.